Hello guys, Cantona here and welcome to this video. This is going to be something a little bit different because this was actually the reason I couldn't do any of the NRL streams on Sunday night. It's due to I went to saw the Never Give In Sir Alex Ferguson film. It came out in cinemas over the last couple of days, and I bought tickets to it immediately because I don't know if the light's going to pick it up there, but I'm sort of a Manchester United fan, and Sir Alex Ferguson is our greatest ever manager. So yeah, going into it, the trailer did make a reveal that it is about the start point is after Sir Alex Ferguson suffered a brain hemorrhage, and it's basically about him recounting his stories and his memories, which is basically the theme across the entire film. And yeah, so it's a basically that's all the premise really is of the film. I mean, I would put a spoiler warning, but then again, it's not really much of a spoiler because I mean we kind of know a lot about other stuff. So I'm just going to talk about some of the things that I liked, and some of the things that I was interested about in terms of the actual film itself. So the structure of the film basically is, like I said, it's the beginning bit is when Sir Alex Ferguson, is rushed into hospital for the brain hemorrhage, and then it goes on. It's an interesting one. So it goes from there, then it transitions to Alex Ferguson when he's like a young child. Then it goes back to like the story of him recovering from the brain hemorrhage, and then it goes when he's older and stuff like that. Basically, that's the story structure. It's like gets rushed to hospital, early childhood, back at the hospital, becoming a footballer, hospital, when he goes to Rangers, hospital, manager. That's basically the story structure to the film. One thing that definitely does need to actually is brought up is so when he does play, so he lived in a suburb of Glasgow in Scotland, and he grew up as a Rangers fan, and that is very much pointed out because later on in his playing career he actually ends up joining Rangers as a player. But one of the aspects that they do bring into this is that Alex Ferguson's wife, Kathy, is actually a Catholic. Because there was a thing with Celtic and Rangers. I mean, there's always been a thing about how divided that rivalry is. It's like Catholics versus Protestants. British versus Irish. All of that jazz. And I know it wasn't until the 80s when Rangers signed Mo Johnson that they actually signed a Catholic, and it was basically, like a dead against it, and Sir Alex Ferguson was a Protestant, so him and Kathy had a civil wedding, I think it was a marriage, like council's office, basically. So it's like it wasn't in a chapel or anything like that, but with going into that was the 1969 Scottish Cup final where Celtic did play Rangers, and Celtic belted them. I think it was 5-0 was the final score. And in the film it was shown that Alex Ferguson was kind of made as the scapegoat because he should have gone up for a header from a corner, which led to the first goal. And because of like his wife being was Catholic, people basically just drew him as the very scapegoat for the sole reason of them losing the Scottish Cup. So with that, there's this like resentment from Rangers by Sir Alex Ferguson. It does come into it when he plays Aberdeen, he coaches Aberdeen and makes them for a period like the best team in Scotland. You do get to see like an early reflection of Fergie time, as it shows like one highlighted match at Aberdeen was when they played against Bayern Munich, where they were 2-1 down, and somehow Aberdeen made it 3-2 and won the match. But the one thing that also interests me was the Scottish Cup final when Aberdeen played Rangers, and Aberdeen won the game. However, Ferguson was very pissed and he was basically saying that it was a terrible performance by the team, saying you set the team up to such standards and they're playing and basically saying they played like crap, and not even celebrating that the fact that Aberdeen had beaten Rangers, and he said it was mostly because he was playing against Rangers and he wanted to set a statement, which was also a thing that was when he first played Rangers at the Ibrox with Aberdeen as the Aberdeen. He actually, it was a draw, and he was confused about why the players were celebrating a draw like they won the match, because Aberdeen had never won the league, and so he had to install that winner's mentality to the team. Then obviously it then transitions after Aberdeen transitions over to when he coaches Manchester United. One thing that is interesting is United it's not like the main part of the story for obvious reasons. It's about Sir Alex Ferguson, not Manchester United. But I feel like it's like less than half the film's actually about his time in Manchester. But yeah, obviously I think we all pretty much know most of what happened. You know, it was a bit of a terrible start. Some of the fans were even calling for Ferguson to be sacked, and then they won the league in the early 90s, and then basically tore shit up, basically, is what happened. But in terms of getting the players like interviewed and stuff like that, they have like a lot of like footage of players who have scored, like, you know, they have like Rooney, Ronaldo, and stuff like that. But they only get 2 players who got interviewed for this film, Ryan Giggs and Eric Cantona. And it's like Giggs, of course, being like arguably United, like the most recognisable United player, and they had Eric Cantona, who was like, he basically came in saying, because Ferguson was talking to Michel Platini, telling him about how he should sign and put in like a care and work to make, because Cantona, even before he joined United, was a little bit of a hothead. But one thing that's interesting though is they didn't show, when they're trying to get over that Cantona was a hothead, they didn't show him fly kicking a fan at Crystal Palace, which was a bit interesting. I don't know if it was maybe a copyright issue or stuff like that, but yeah, because the film is made by, like, the director is one of Alex Ferguson's sons, so yeah, maybe it was like a budget issue or something like that. Interesting with the Ryan Giggs thing, they also do it because Ryan Giggs' father left him when he was 14, so it was kind of like a father-son dynamic with Fergie and Giggs. So you see them like, and then they start basically in like the early 90s. They make the FA Cup final against Crystal Palace, and he talks about one specifically where after, because obviously that FA Cup final went to a replay, and Ferguson actually brought down a keeper from Aberdeen and to play for United. I can't remember his name, but it'll be down here. But he had to drop him because he didn't think like he was confident in that cup final, and he said that they never spoke again, which is one of those things that's like a real dwell into like making those hard decisions in terms of being a manager, like being a friend. You have to be a manager instead of a friend kind of thing. The big climax of the film is when United started rolling into success is, of course, the 1999 Champions League final against Bayern Munich. I mean, what's there to say? I mean, we all know what happens, but the best thing I like, this my favourite part of the film, is when it comes up to like the, you know, like 3 minutes remaining, is they have this continuous shot of the camera focused on Fergie, because it uses a lot of archival footage. It's just an archival footage. So when like the corner happens and Sheringham equalises, it doesn't break away from Ferguson, which I thought was a really, really good decision choice. And then, of course, you all know, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scores the winner. He has the interview, lifts up the Champions League trophy, and that's pretty much like the big climax of the film. Like, the next shot is when he actually returns Old Trafford, like, for the first time after the whole brain hemorrhage. And that's the end of the film. And one thing that I was a bit odd about was there was nothing about Ronaldo. Like, I do feel like it's like, oh, you won the Champions League, like, that's, like, for the first time, that's a big point, but, like, the whole relationship with Cristiano Ronaldo and Sir Alex Ferguson is a very big one. I do feel like, I don't know, maybe, because I know it was brought up a lot in the Ronaldo movie, but I might need to actually rewatch it, so, but, yeah, so that is the film. I quite enjoyed it as a United fan, but I don't think you have to be a United fan to watch it, because when I watch it, one of the mates that I went with is a Liverpool fan, and Liverpool and Man City are not brought up a lot. I think Man City's mentioned more than Liverpool. Man City mentioned twice, so actually in the like early stages of when Ferguson was at United, when the United were crap, he was like basically write down his opinions on the performance as like, 5-1 loss to Man City. And then there was a brought up in Man City because Ryan Giggs was actually going to be signed by Man City. And Liverpool's only brought up once, and it's like in that very similar thing. So there isn't a lot. Because I thought there'd be maybe like the quote about wanting to put Liverpool off their fucking perch, which is a very synonymous quote with Alex Ferguson. But yeah. So that is the review for Never Give In, the Sir Alex Ferguson story. Tell us what you think. Should this become a thing where I review sports films? Let me know in the comments below, and if you have seen it, tell me what you think in the comments below. Thank you all very much for watching, and I'll see you later.